That is what, I'm sorry for that little bit of interruption. That is what they tell our kids, that this is what your ancestors were doing, and our kids grow up with that same mentality that we have been having from generations to generation. And now, please, now is the time for this thing to change. Now is the time for it to change. And there is also a serious change that is happening in the continent presently. There's a serious change happening in the continent. Coup d'etats that are happening, even though I'm not saying the coup d'etats are good, but the coup d'etats is to bring about change, a new beginning. Can you just imagine, like, the country that I am, the currency that we are using is CFA franc. And do you guys know that this currency is being produced by France? We as a country, and it is not only Cameroon, all the countries that are in the CEMAC zone, that falls under that. In short, let me just say all the countries that are, most of the countries that were being colonized by France. If not that, it is now that some of the countries have started kicking out France. All of the currency, the country's currency, is being produced by France itself. Everything that most of the French countries were having came from France. So you can just imagine, more than how many years that we have been through this. Is this thing not going to have an end? Of course. And something is going to have an end if we stood up and say, you know what, enough is enough. All right, we need to put an end to this. Enough is enough. And that is why I said, if we have failed to do that, we should not let our children continue in the same footstep. All right, if we have failed in doing that, then we should prepare our kids. We should prepare them. And how are we going to start preparing our kids? To start telling them who they truly are. To start letting them know that Africa is who they Africa is their motherland, and they need to know of their history. Now, I've watched so many videos on the internet that most of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora are saying that, they are not Africans. And there is also one point that I want to make here. And I've also been saying this in my videos. All right, I've been saying this in my videos. Do you know why we as black people generally, be it you are from Africa, be it you are from the US, you are from Europe, anywhere you are, as someone, as a black person, do you know why we are not being respected? Do you know why? Well, some of you might say it is because of they are claiming that our ancestors had no history. Yes, that is one of the facts. But presently now in this generation, it is because of the state where the continent is right now. That is why we are not being respected. Well, it is true. We don't also respect ourselves. That is also the reason why we don't respect ourselves. It is because of what they have inflicted on us. All right, I can call it brainwashing. That is how I can call it. Because if you want to look at history, or maybe if you want to look at each and every group or race of people had problems with each other. But in this 21st century, or in this our present times, you are going to realize that the most race of people that are having issues right up to date, killing each other, it is us, we the black people all over. At least we just have this hatred towards each other. And I am an African, all right, and I am telling you this out of experience. I'm saying this out of experience. Here in Africa, okay, let me tell you all a story that I've experienced while I was working in a company here in the motherland called UFresh. So this company was opened by Chinese people. All right, it was opened by Chinese people, and the company is doing pretty good. The Chinese there, they are doing pretty good. They are making money out of it, and we were working there. You will not imagine how much they were paying us. All right, you won't imagine how much the Chinese were paying us for working. We will go to work from 6 o'clock, and then we are going to close around 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we are going to close around 7 o'clock. I want you all to really process this and see what is really happening. We'll go to work very early in the morning at 6, and then we are going to close at 7 o'clock in the evening. Do you know how much they were paying us for that time frame? We were paid 2,500 francs CFA. Now, if you want to convert 2,500 francs CFA into dollars, that should be around $5. So can you just imagine that should be around $5? And then we now stood up and say, okay, you know what? This is too much. All right. We cannot keep continuing like this. You are in our country. Add you all need to add this amount of money. We went and met the manager that was having that company, and we were like trying to do a little bit of protest. We went and met the manager. The manager there was a Chinese man. Do you know what that Chinese man told us? The Chinese man told us that the main problem is not them, that we should go and meet um, our supervisor, the person that was supervising us, because that Chinese man told us that when they came to open that company, they had already planned how much they were going to be paying workers. All right. And when they went to the government, they opened up the company and everything. It is only our own brothers and sisters that are head, that are, the head in that section in the in the government, will tell the Chinese people that, you know what, do not pay them this amount of money, reduce it. It is too much for them. It is too much. Reduce it. Even if the Chinese man wants to pay you um maybe $7 per hour, it is only our brothers that will tell them that reduce that amount of money, pay them this. Or maybe that is what actually the Chinese man is going to be paying, but when the money will enter into the hands of our supervisors, they are going to deduct a portion of the money, and then we that now we are down below in the field, we are going to suffer the consequences. So the Chinese man told us the problem is not us, the problem is your brothers. And that is true. That is 100% true. And if you take a look at it, you are going to realize that this is happening in every black groups all over the globe. It's not only in Africa, not black groups in Africa, black groups in the US, black groups in Jamaica. I've realized that we are facing the same problem. All right, we are facing the same problem all over the globe, and that is what I said. This thing, it has to do with um what we have been taught, what we have been brainwashed to believe, that we are nothing. All right, we have been brainwashed to believe that we are nothing, and we have just generated this hate towards each other. We just believe that, you know what, than for me to stand with my brother, better I will join. Maybe there's another thing there in the continent. There in the continent, yes, actually, it starts at the top. That is where it starts. It starts at the top. So at some point in time, it is our leaders that are doing these things. And in my last live that I did yesterday, I talked about corruption, I talked about bribery, I talked about tribalism. All right. Here in Africa, these are the things that you are going to get when you get to Africa. Even though the tribalism thing has reduced a little bit, but you are still going to experience it. And that is some of the challenges that I was talking about. The diaspora that will come to the continent. These are some of the challenges that you are going to face. All right. Even though it should not get you all discouraged, but this is the truth. I am somebody that I always want to tell you all the truth. All right. You are going to face some of these challenges. So in that company, a Chinese person will always stand for his brother. That Ufresh company that I was working there, even if his brother is at the wrong, he's always going to stand for his brother. He will first of all say, you know what, don't touch my brother. All right. Then after that he will now going to ask question, what happened. This is the thing that we as black people all over the globe, we do not have this love. We don't have it. We prefer to stand with the Chinese. We prefer to stand with the whites, how I can say it, but than to stand with our own brother. So that's why I said, if we as a people have failed, we should not let our children continue in the same footstep. That is my point. All right, we should not let our children continue in the same footstep. Now, let us even try to talk about this issue that happened with the American YouTuber Mr. Beast that came to the continent and dug up 100 wells in the continent. He went to Kenya and even here in Cameroon, because Cameroon is one of the countries that was mentioned that Mr. Beast was here. Even though we never heard it in the news, and that is why I said. But even though we did not hear it in the news, it does not change the fact that he did not do it. So many people were saying that, but why would black people be saying that what Mr. Beast did is wrong? Of course, Mr. Beast helped people that were lacking water. Now that he dug up those wells, thanks to him that he dug up those wells, at least more than 500,000 people will now have access to clean drinking water. Well, for me, I don't think that is the problem, right? Because despite the fact that we have differences as races of people, but we are all living in one humanity, and to see someone helping a fellow human being is good, all right? It's not bad. But the main issue that I think most of our people are complaining about that act is the presentation, all right? The manner in which the video was presented out there to the world, that is a problem. Because many people all over the world, that's what the mainstream media is portraying, all right? Many people all over the world knows that Africa, there is nothing in Africa. Africa is poor. There is no good drinking water in Africa. That is what so many people know. Even some of our people, that is what they know. All right? Even some of our people, that is what they know. They know that the motherland is not having good, which is false. Here in Cameroon, we have numerous companies that are producing drinking water for us. Matter of fact, our main source of water that is coming out from a rock called Mount Cameroon. Here in Cameroon is coming out from a rock called Mount Cameroon. We have good good drinking water that is being purified. We are using it all over the country. So now, to this extent, now it is not every region in the country that is going to have access to it. Like, you cannot tell me that even in Europe or in America, there are areas that are poor. All right. Even though it is in America, there are still some areas that lack some basic, amenities. It's the same thing in Africa. But why is it that whenever it concerns Africa, many people will just see it like there is no good drinking water in the continent. There is no good drinking water in Africa. So that is a problem. The manner of the presentation, that is a problem. And that is why I think people are talking. That is why I think some of our people are complaining about the act. It is not the good way that he did. Of course, what he did is good, and God is going to bless him for what he did, because that is exactly the kind of love that Christ talked about, that we should care for each other, not despite the race. All right, that is the kind of love that Christ talked about. So that is why I said, we as a people, like how you said that we don't respect ourselves. That is 100% true. It's 100% fact. We don't respect ourselves. So if we have failed as a people, we should not let the same fate to affect our children. All right? We should not let the same fate to affect our children. There is something that I will always tell our people. I will always say this thing. Because one of our leaders here in the continent said that he's seen Africa, that if we don't behave fast, if we don't act fast, he's seen a neo-colonialism. It means that there will still be a colonialism ahead. because of what how we are doing things. We know what is our problem, but we don't want to face it. We always want to just feel relaxed and, in as much as this man is giving me food, or in as much as this man is doing things for me, let me just sit and relax. Of course, they will not to worry about. That is what we need to change. We have natural resources here in the country that can do anything. But why are we not manufacturing? Why are we not, you know, yes, exactly. We don't want to learn how to do things by ourselves. We want to be, we want that people should just do things for us. That is a problem. Exactly as you have said it. We don't want to do things ourselves, and we have the capability. Now, how many of you know that there are many doctors that are in the US, that are in the US, that is in America, that if they could have been in the continent, they could have done many great things. Even scientists, all right, there are many African scientists, even though some of them will complain that it is not their fault. It's just that when they get to maybe to the when they get to Europe or to US, they will not allow them to come back. Those are the complaints that some of them are giving, but I don't really feel that that is the case. I don't really feel like that is the case. We have the capability to do anything. We have the creativity. We have all what is being needed. We have the natural resources, but we are still yet not doing anything. And now is the time for us to unite. All right. How long have we been suffering from this? How long? And how long are we going to suffer from this? Are we just going to come into the world like how some people used to see it? That in as much as I have food on my table, I have this, maybe I'm having a good life, I forget about anything else. That is totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Will you allow your children to face the same discrimination that we are facing right now? At times I want black people to ask themselves this question, and that is the I think black people, we are not yet ready to ask ourselves some certain questions, and that is why we are still slow in doing some certain things. If I ask somebody that, okay, you are seeing there's a discrimination happening to us. Yes, there's a discrimination. Do you think, well, of course, it's not a good idea. So what are you doing to stop or to change this discrimination that is happening towards us? There will not be a very good answer. Okay, let me just say you don't have the power to change it. Now, let me just talk about your home, all right? Your kids, what is the history that they are learning? What are the doctrines that are being taught to them? Is it not the same doctrines that we have that they have taught us with, that concerning our ancestors being nothing? Uh-uh. You try to connect with your family in Benin to start new business, but they keep telling it can't happen. Why? Why would they say that? Did they give you any reason for that? Now, were they telling you that it can't happen, as in, were they telling you that it cannot happen, as in you cannot connect with your family, or that you cannot do the business? I want to know if is the business section, or it is that you cannot connect. Because if it is the business side, ah, you see. If it is a business side, are you sure they don't want bribe? Are you sure they don't want? Have you tried opening the business and then they try to stop you? Because, like I said, in Africa, if you want, there are some certain things that if you want to do, you must. Yeah, we call it washing. You must wash. So you see that is a problem. So if they are still telling you that you cannot do the business, maybe they want something from you. Maybe they want something like a bribe or something from you before you can proceed with the business. And it also depends on what kind of business do you want to do. All right. But nevertheless, despite what the business is, I'm sure the reason that they might be refusing you this is because they want something from you. They want bribe. And like I said it in my last video, that if you want to set up your business in the continent, know that if you're coming to the continent to do business, you need to be ready for this. All right. You need to be ready for this. And you should not feel discouraged. All right. In as much as you have the courage, you should not feel discouraged. You should do what you want to do here in the continent. And that is why I said we need to change these things together. The continental Africans and the diaspora, we need to work together. Okay. All right. That's great. And what was his response? Now, please, I just want to really understand. Um, do you think that they are refusing you to do the business that you want to do because of some certain did they okay, they didn't give you any reason. You said they did not give you a reason, and definitely it will be, he said, so if I might understand, he said that you should give him the money for him to work on the land. Is that what he said to you? This. Oh, that is too bad. Nah, that is too bad. That is too bad. That is too bad. No, you need to look for somebody else. All right, you need to look for someone else. Now, do you have a place where you can? Of course, you might have a place. What I would suggest you to do is, are you in Benin presently, or you are in the States? Because if you are in Benin, or if you are not in Benin, then I would suggest, okay, you are in the States. Now, what I would suggest that you should do is, since first of all, I will recommend that you should look for a reliable person there in Benin. Okay, even though that might anyway, the first thing that I would suggest for you to do is look for a reliable person that is going to work. How can you say that you should give him the money for him to? That's not cool at all. Look for a reliable person that will want to work on the farm. If not, I would recommend that you should go to Benin. You should maybe program yourself the time that you're going to spend in order to establish it yourself. Because this issue of just sending maybe sending money and say, okay, you guys should do. Okay, 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 okay. So it means that, so what I will recommend that is to look for look for a person that will want to work on it. Now, let me just ask you this. Okay, since this happened, what have you tried? Have you tried any other option concerning the land issue? Have you tried looking for somebody else, or have you tried, you should try look for someone else that might. Okay, let me ask this question. What do you want to grow on the land? Okay, start a farm, then make a grocery store. Wow, wow, wow. That is awesome. That is awesome. You should do that. All right. You should do nothing should hold you back. Nothing should stop you. All right. Nothing should stop you. You should do that. You should do that. You know what? I would recommend that you should, create connections there in Benin. All right. You should create connections there in Benin. Nothing should stop you back from doing. All right. Look for. Okay, 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 okay. That is awesome. That is awesome. All these crops, all these casa, palm, we are also doing that stuff here in Cameroon as well. From where I am from, people make a lot of money. Cassava, okay, yeah, that's it. Cassava. We are also having it here. We use it to that cassava can you can use cassava to do a lot of African food. You can use it to make what we call gari. I don't know if that is also present in, but if in as much as there is cassava there in Benin, then there is also gari. We use to make gari, fufu. There is a lot of things, and then the palm, cassava leaf. Yes, this cassava leaf. We use cassava leaf to make something like a soup. All right, we use to make soup, but the cassava itself, we grind it. We grind it. We shifted the cassava. Then there is a way that we put it for it to form something we call gari. I don't know, just that I don't really have it around here. I could have showed you how it looked like. I could have showed you how it looked like. That cassava plant is a very, very profitable crop. It's a very, very profitable crop. The palm is very, very profitable. There's I don't know if you know of this. There's what we call red oil. There's what we call red oil. I don't know if you have heard that. Okay, 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 okay. That's great. That's great. So that is very, very profitable. That palm oil is very, very profitable here in Cameroon. I don't know if it is all right, all right. That's great. That's great. So, bro, you should do that. All right. Okay. Now you said you are first generation African, and of course, you are an African, and you know some certain things that have been happening in the continent. You might know some certain things that have been happening when it concerns this bribery stuff on what is going on. So, and that is just the reason. And there is also some things that I said that most of our brothers and sisters from the continent that are leaving the continent to move to Europe and to the US, some of them might be, most people in the world might think that there are no jobs here in Africa. Of course, there might be, there are jobs, but even though it is not enough, but there are jobs that could have sustained many of our brothers and sisters that are moving to the to US and Europe to look for greener pastures elsewhere. But the main issue is this bribery and corruption that is happening. Someone is going to be qualified to get a certain job, but the job is not going to be given to the person because maybe because the person might not have connection, the person might not have money to give for bribe the person. So these are the things that here in Africa, these are some of the things that is still keeping us, behind, and these things need to change. Oh, 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 oh. That is a great plan. That is a great plan. That means as you move to that means just moving to the US, I want some potato leaf. Um Potato leaf, yeah. What do you want to use it for? You know, bro, that is a great plan. All right, that is a great plan. You moved to the US when you were just 4 years old, which it implies that you didn't even spend, most of your time in the continent, and most of your time you spend there in the states. All right, to eat. Well, I don't know if there was a possibility for me to, send it to you or make you have it. It would have been great. My father was having, I don't know if you all know of cocoa. You all know of cocoa. There is something here in Cameroon that we call cocoa. It's used to produce chocolate. It's used to produce. There are many things that you can use cocoa for. That is a farm that my father was cultivating. Sadly, he passed away. He has passed away around 2 years now, and that is another crop that is very very good for business wise. I am here. There's a lot of videos that I've I have been doing, that I've been talking about this same thing. I am here, all right. I am here to help the African diasporans to come to Cameroon, right? I'm here. If you all need me, you can check the description of this channel. There is my Gmail is there. You can use it to contact me, and maybe from now, maybe tomorrow, I'm going to create an Instagram account so that we can easily contact each other. But for now, you can contact me through my email. I left my email in the description. So I left my email. You can contact me. There is a lot of opportunities here in the continent. A lot of opportunities. Now, let me tell you something. Have you ever asked yourself that why are Africans, continental Africans, leaving the continent, but people like foreigners like Chinese are staying? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for those words. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. So, like I was saying, Africans are leaving the continent, going to look for greener pastures elsewhere, but the Chinese are coming into the continent. So you now see where there is a problem. You now see where there is a problem. There is a lot of opportunities here in the continent, a lot of opportunities. But just that is a problem. That is some of the problem. All right. I'm so sorry about that, bro. I'm so sorry about your father. I'm so sorry about I'm so sorry about your dad. This is at times life throws certain things at us. Life really, really put us down. I mean, the passing away of my father has been, I was really, really depressed during that period. I was really, really depressed. But I just said, it's life. It's life. So, Africans, as I was saying, Africans are leaving the continent, but the Chinese are coming here. Like what you just said, bro. Chinese are taking over Benin. All right, they are buying lands, and if you take a look at it deep, you are going to see that they are bringing in a new strategy. That because let me just say, in Cameroon here, for example, it is very difficult for our government to just issue them lands like that. So they find it difficult. So what they do now is they come, get married to our sisters here, and with that they will now have access to claim lands. All right, they will now have access to claim lands, and that is the reason why I am telling the diaspora that do not listen to what the mainstream media is telling you. Yeah, Africa might be having its own flaws. Africa might not be this as good as the West, as good as America, but don't just focus on that. Maybe luxurious life, and that come and start acquiring your lands. Okay, come and start acquiring your lands here in the continent. I did a video when I was showing you all um a newly area that was still developing, a new area that was still developing. That this area, people are giving lands very very cheap rates. All right, people are giving, since as it's still a newly developed area, people are giving lands in a very very cheap rate, and this is the opportunity you can use to come acquire lands for yourself, and start up a business for yourself. Even if, okay, you might say, maybe I don't want to live in the continent because maybe the continent doesn't have, or the continent is not in the same standard as compared to the to US. But coming there, reconnecting with your ancestral homeland, reconnecting with your history, even if you might be coming and going back. All right, but the main important thing is for you to reconnect back to your ancestral homeland, and try to do things to change the condition of your homeland, of your ancestral homeland. That is a problem. All right, that is a problem, and that is what the Chinese are doing. That is what the Chinese are doing. You see, you think maybe Chinese people don't really care about maybe luxury life in China. They do care about that, but they don't really think of it as maybe something that big. What they think of is investment. What they are thinking of is, and that is the mindset that I want our people all over the world to have. That is the kind of mindset I want our people all over the world to have. So come to the continent and start up your investment, and that's it. So I really want to thank you all for participating in the live today. I really want to thank you all for participating in the live. So I'm going to be coming live. Just that I'm sure there is a time difference, because here is around the time here is around 4 breaking morning, around 4 o'clock. So I don't know what is the time there. So I will be doing more live. I'll be doing more live. Even tomorrow, I'll be live tomorrow on for us to communicate more, because I want to put the bridge between the diaspora and the continent. That is the goal in this channel. All right. So that's it. Okay, 9 p.m. All right. So you see, there is a huge time difference. There is a huge time difference. So I'm going to be scheduling the live now, knowing what time you all might be online, so that we can participate as we have done today. So I want to thank you all for participating. Um, Tomorrow we are going to talk more. There is a lot more to talk about in the continent, a lot more to talk about. So like I said, I have my Gmail in the description. You can, if you want to contact me, or if you want to email me in anything, you can get me through the mail, through my Gmail. And I'm going to be, there will be a time when I'm going to be putting out some books concerning things that is happening in the Africa, to the diaspora that wants to come to the Africa but have no clue about the continent. So I'll be putting out books for you all to, know how to approach Africa. And then there was a language that I talked about. It's called the Pidgin English language. Right. I'm also going to do a little dictionary about that, because it is good for the diaspora to know how to speak this language, because most of the countries west slash Central Africa are speaking this pidgin. It is more like a universal language. All right. So that's what I'm going to be. Those are the projects that is going to come later. So I want to thank you all for participating. You all have a nice day, and I'm going to be. Yes, I'm definitely going to do that. It's just that now I'm still trying to put some things together. All right, I'm still trying to, even though there is still some little challenges that I'm still facing. So that is why I've been limited, for now. But I know I believe God that very soon, things will be okay. So I'm going to be doing that because I need to provide much assistance to the diaspora as much as I can. That is my goal. So that's it. Thank you very much for participating. I'm going to be seeing you guys tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be the same time tomorrow. So you all have a nice day.